What's up, America? Welcome to the first episode of 5 Stupid Questions with America's sweetheart, Eric Ryan. I am America's sweetheart, Eric Ryan. Our first episode features Cesar Marin, and I love Cesar Marin almost as much as Cesar Marin loves mushrooms. And this guy, oh my God, he loves mushrooms. And before we start thinking, oh, shiitake, portobello, no, the psychedelic kind. He loves them so much, he does a dose within 20 seconds of the first question. Let me give you a little background on the guy. Cesar worked at CNN for something like 25 years. Now he's the owner and CEO of Cultivating Wisdom, which espouses the virtues of microdosing psilocybin, which, studies have shown that it can be used to treat anxiety, depression. It's doing great things with veterans and PTSD. I love that in the United States, we represent 5% of the world's population. We consume 98, I think, percent of the world's pharmaceuticals. But when we suggest that maybe you take something natural, like a psilocybin mushroom, we're like, oh, I would never do that. Part of this whole idea is that Caesar's message is usually targeted at an older crowd, the Gen Xers, the boomers, because some reason they're very against psychedelics. I don't know why. I love them. Speaking of which, I'm a big mushroom guy myself. The only difference between Cesar and I is that he's a big fan of microdosing, where I love macrodosing. Tasting colors and seeing sounds. My favorite. This first episode of 5 Stupid Questions, I ask, it's essentially, who are your favorite bands? We ramble on for 20 minutes, but if you don't have an opinion on music or movies or books, anything we talk about on the show, then you're a big dumb idiot. If you prefer 2 business assholes talking about God knows what with rotely memorized answers to fucking terrible questions, head on over to LinkedIn. It's chocked full of them. I am on LinkedIn, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, please enjoy this first episode. I know I did. I'm in it. Cut.
Now, next time I do want to do 5 questions on mushrooms.
Okay, we'll do that.
Why not? Why not, right? Why not? Hold on. Speaking about mushrooms, I'm going to do a little microdose. You can actually get in that spray. That's incredible. We live in great times.
Breath smells great.
I just did my microdose. My breath smells great, and we're good to go.
Right, you're seeing colors, tasting sounds, and
it's sub-perceptual. It's sub-perceptual.
Okay, sub-perceptual.
Microdosing. One spray at a time.
Here it is. All right, here's the first question while the mushrooms set in. So you're trapped on a desert island. You get to bring the complete catalogues of 5 separate bands and musical artists for the rest of eternity to listen to on your island all alone. Yours, very interesting.
Very.
I'm going to start with number 1. Ready? I'm going to pull them up. Depeche Mode.
Yes, look at that.
Look at that.
That was my time. I dressed like one of those guys I know back in the 80s.
I was going to say, someone, either 3 guys didn't get the email or 1 guy did about the dress code for today's photo shoot. I did some research. Did you know that Personal Jesus is about Elvis?
I did know that.
Inspired by Elvis. I guess one of them read Priscilla Presley's book, and the way she viewed Elvis inspired Personal Jesus. Interesting, huh?
Very, very. Good on
Speaking of drugs, though, I listened to their some single out Before We Drown, I think is off their last album. That would be great on mushrooms, just while we're on the subject. I love that synthy shit. I don't think there's enough synthy shit out there. I mean, the 80s were perfect for synthy stuff. Why'd that go away?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I love that dude's shirt. That is a hell of a shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Can you go out with that nowadays? I'm not sure.
I don't think you want to wear it a lot because it looks like it's dry clean only. I don't think you can
probably
get a lot of mileage out of that. All right, so Depeche Mode's coming to the island. Number 2, I'm starting to think that you might be Colombian because there's a lot of Colombian answers on here. I knew very little about this young lady, but I did listen. And first of all, very attractive, this Carol G.
Carol G. Yes,
she doesn't.
Very attractive.
I don't want to come across as an ageist or anything, but like once you reach a certain age, you figure you stop listening to new music. She's new music. What got you into Carol G?
That rhythm. That rhythm is going to get you, as Gloria Stefan said. I mean, Carol G is just this really good Colombian singer. She's really making Colombia proud. She actually just won a Grammy not too long ago. As best, I think, Latin artist. So she's just this wholehearted person who just got. I mean, her music is so catchy. Her music and And look, I'm Latin, man. It's just like it's something beats, and I go, whoa, hold on a second. And
Yeah.
Carol G's got that. She's got that new vibe. She's got that reggaeton, as the young kids like to call it.
I saw the video for
name it.
Shakira. Actually, I watched a lot of her videos. I know, shocking.
I'm sure it's on your playlist now. Now you understand why Carol G is. I actually went with the wife to a Carol G concert here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Great show. Great show. She actually comes out in a second in a flying Ferrari.
God damn.
Above the crowd, like in this Ferrari, she's singing this song. It's like, okay.
See, I love that shit. This is a great debate. My father's an audiophile. Like, he knows everything about music. And the first thing I was into was 80s hair metal. And he fucking hates 80s hair metal. He hates pageantry. Get on the stage and play the fucking guitar like Tom Petty. I have no problem. But I'd rather theatrics. Like, I want you in a flying Ferrari. I want Motley Crue in a hamster ball playing the drums. Like, if I'm going to a show, like, yes, I want the music, but give me some other shit.
But Eric, and let's be honest, dude, a show's gonna cost you like 3 beans easily. Yeah, like with 300, I better get spectacular.
Get a fucking Ferrari. Like, do something.
I better get a Ferrari flying. I better get something.
Exactly.
Something. Not just music. I can listen to that at home. And it's
if you want them to just hear the music, play the goddamn CD and shut up. Why are you leaving the house? Here's the other thing too. I watched her video with Shakira. And nothing made me feel more white in my life. Like, it's just, it's just, the hip movement. Oh God, I'm so fucking lame.
Sassiness of Latin girls.
I got nothing.
Okay, good on you. Good on you. Yeah, thank you, Carol G, for putting Colombia's flag.
Oh my God,
high up on it. Good for her.
Proudly, between her and the cocaine, I'm ready to go to Colombia. So anytime.
Let's go. Hey, whenever you want, dude. Whatever you want, let's go. We're there.
I am there. The food.
I do not condone cocaine use or prostitution in Colombia.
Okay, well, that's good. That's nice. I do. Just so you know.
There's other incredible stuff to do. There's other great stuff to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what a night we're there. I'm gonna go explore the town.
Well, yeah, I'll make sure you're safe.
Okay, good. I'll see you in the morning. All right. The third band, also, well, I don't know. Here's my thing with Led Zeppelin. They are the greatest rock and roll band of all time. And I don't think it's debatable. I went and saw it last year, Led Zeppelin tribute band.
Yeah.
It is fucking from start to finish a goddamn wall of electric sound. And you can't sit, like, nobody can sit at a Led Zeppelin. I never saw the real Led Zeppelin, but you can't. It's fucking amazing. I think life must have been so crazy to be like, you're living life. There's no Led Zeppelin. Then that first album drops. It must be like seeing color for the first time.
Yeah, it's just, and with me, Led Zeppelin was that real first band that I became interested in a groups of musical groups, music or songs, and all of their other songs and everything else they were doing. And holy cow, listen to this. And it was funny, it was myself and my 2 cousins who lived on Long Island. And we were young little 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, and just listening to Zeppelin was like awesome. Awesome. It was like, holy cow, listen to that. That's amazing music. So there's a lot of the music that I like that sort of brings back those memories of those times, whether it was like being a kid or Depeche Mode being a teenager and in my 20s. So yeah, definitely Zeppelin is amazing. And I don't know if you've heard of Greta Van Fleet, obviously, no?
I love Greta Van Fleet. I was going to ask you about Greta Van Fleet. I was like, oh, they're Led Zeppelin knockoffs. Great. Because I love it. You're going to knock off anybody. Fucking, how about Led Zeppelin? Here's my issue with Zeppelin with Rolling Stone magazine. This drives me crazy. Every time somebody talks about Zeppelin, I bring this up. Rolling Stone said Robert Plant is the greatest frontman of all time. I agree. They said that John Bonham is the greatest drummer of all time. I agree. They said Jimmy Page is the 3rd best guitarist of all time. All right, I'm on board with this. Okay. They said John Paul Jones is the 14th best bassist. Then Zeppelin doesn't even make their top 10 bands of all time. How the fuck can you have 1, 3, and 14 and not make the top 10? Does that make any sense?
No. And again, look, what are they smoking over a Rolling Stone? You know what I mean?
Nothing good. Look, because they're out of their goddamn minds.
Here's the thing. Again, at the end of the day, like I say, those are just opinions. And like assholes, everybody has one, and everyone stinks. You know what I mean?
Someone had, a bunch of people have an asshole. That's the worst take I've ever heard.
To me, if you, what was that? What number were they?
I think they come in at like 12 or 11. I mean,
you seriously can name 12 bands that are better than Led Zeppelin. Who do you have in there?
No.
The Beach Boys. I mean, who do you?
Yeah, I guarantee the Beach Boys they had a fucking Led Zeppelin, which is a goddamn joke.
ABBA? What do you ABBA up front of Led Zeppelin? I mean,
You telling me Surfing USA is better than Black Dog? Get the fuck out of here! What are you talking about?
Seriously, Rolling Stone.
All right, well, here's another band that everybody loves, but I mean, they're very hard to argue with. The Beatles.
Wow! Again. It's musical magic.
Yeah,
like musical magic, way ahead of their time, willing to push every single envelope possible, loved the drugs, made incredible music on the substances, and just what a legacy, what a legacy of, it was never, there was never a scandal in the sense of like P. Diddy or anything, or anything like that, you know what I mean? Or anything like that, And look, innocent until proven guilty. Sorry. But again, there was none of that, right? It was just this beautiful music and let's build music together. And it's just again, time in my really brings back memories of me, Long Island summers with my cousins, just fascinated with music and listening to the Beatles. Of like, wow, that sounds so cool. Those are unforgettable.
I'm sure. God, I think about this a lot. So I was born in 1980, but the 50s, 60s, and 70s, there was quantum changes in music. Like I think, like all right, at a real base level, the idea of like having sex to sexy music is normal to us, right? That's like an idea.
Yeah, of course.
R. Kelly pissing someone's face, like you're like, all right, yeah, this makes sense. But if you were gonna have sex to music 100 years ago, it would be like "Pop Goes the Weasel." Right? There was nothing.
There's nothing there. Exactly.
There was nothing there, and then all of a sudden, jazz, blues, early rock and roll, the Beatles, Zeppelin, metal, like that happened in a 50-year span. So there's people out there who were like listening to Pop Go the Weasel and died listening to Stairway to Heaven. That's fucking
true.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
But the Beatles are one of those bands where it's like pre-Beatles and post-Beatles, the world was a different place. And that's
for sure. Yes.
Yeah. And I think, look, obviously no one can argue with the Beatles' place in history, but I think the mark of a truly great band, and I argue this point a lot, one of the things is, can they play for 2 hours and everybody would know all their songs? The Beatles could play for 5 hours. And you know all their songs.
All the songs, every single one. You know what album it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just objectively great. Like they're not one of my favorite bands, but their songs are unbelievable. They're catchy. You can't argue with what the Beatles have done.
No, and the gamma from just, real romantic stuff to upbeat stuff to psychedelic stuff to way out there stuff. It's just the Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles collection is amazing. It's amazing the different sounds and types of music that they played, in their libraries. It's incredible.
I like, real quick, there's a couple of things that I find amusing. One of which is, so Ringo is finally getting his due as a drummer, I think. So there's this Netflix documentary called Count Me In. And like you have Dave Grohl and other people talking about how great of a drummer Ringo is. And that was never a thing. Like he was always viewed, I think, as like the weakest member of the Beatles. Because there was one press conference where they're sitting there and somebody asks, they go, is Ringo the greatest drummer in the world? And I think Paul goes, he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles. I thought that was a great line.
That is a great line.
All the Beatles do is give. All right, this next band I was not familiar with. My only concern about them is I don't think there's enough members. Do you think that?
No, not enough. And the crazy thing is they would rotate like crazy from trumpets to band leaders to vocalists. But there's something about this Grupo Nietzsche, this Colombian Cali salsa sensations that just took over Colombia and Cali for a long time. This is magical rhythm of music and vocals and I came to this country at a really early age, at 4 years old. So I never really got to dance, right? I never learned to dance like in Colombia. You know what I mean? Kids 11 years old are like, hey, you know what I mean? You want to be at the party? They're playing salsa music. You got to dance. You know what I mean? It's sort of. So at about the age of 13, one of my aunts was like, you don't know how to dance? Are you serious? Like, what is wrong with you? Come here. And I was like, okay, wait a second. And she turned me on to salsa music and Grupo Nietzsche was just always there. I'm fortunate enough to have married a woman from Cali who that's where the Grupo Nietzsche is, but it's just it's awesome. There's something about salsa music and this rhythm, it's very salsa is very Caribbean, but it's very Afro. and it brings in all these other little elements. So there's something about moving your hips to salsa music that's, for me, pretty cool.